That bear used a lot of manga series. These manga series tend to include many shonen manga series. I guess this makes sense, as that bear is known for better animated series, and shonen manga tend to associate themselves with better genre for most of the time. However, sometime, or maybe most of the time, when that bear use those shonen manga series, they tend to picture a non-main character / side character as a third representative from the series. Why? I have no idea. Maybe it's simply coincidence, or maybe the side character is more equally popular as the main character. Anyway, in this video, I will focus on the shonen manga series featured on that better that does not pick the main character as a third representative on the specific series. I am sure that this will be interesting to discuss. And before I begin, I want to point out that this video will focus solely on shonen manga series. In other words, this video would not feature the manga series that are considered as seinen, shoujo, or manga-inspired Western animated series. That said, I'll begin the video with Dragon Balls. Dragon Ball doesn't need introduction. Released on Weekly Shonen Jump, Dragon Ball is usually known as one of the most famous and influential shonen manga series of all time. And its main character is always very ready and training metal artist Son Goku. However, when that bear first introduced the Dragon Ball series in the show, it featured Vegeta as the first character to appear. The villain turned to rival to Son Goku in the story of Dragon Balls. He appeared in Vegeta Body Shadow, where he faced Shadow the Hedgehog, the rival of Sonic the Hedgehog. The episode released on May 9, 2011 as the 12th episode of Season 1. Son Goku later appeared on that bear in Goku vs Superman, where he faced DC Superior Superman as the final / 25th episode of Season 1. It was released on January 10, 2013, almost 1 year and 8 months between these two episodes. Naruto. One of the Shonen Holy Trinity and act as a successor to Dragon Ball, Naruto also does not need introduction. Also released on Weekly Shonen Jump, Naruto is one of the most famous shonen of all time. It features orange-colored ninja Naruto Uzumaki as the main character. However, that bear doesn't use Naruto as a first representative of Naruto when they use the series in the show. It used Gaara, the same ninja who first appeared as an enemy but become allies friend to Naruto as time goes on, as a third representative of the show. Gaara appeared on Gaara vs Top, 17th episode of Season 2, where he faced Top Beifeng, the blind earthbender from Avatar The Last Airbender. Gaara vs Top released on February 7, 2015. That said, Naruto Uzumaki himself later appeared on that bear in Naruto vs Ichigo, where he faced protagonist of the shonen manga series Bleach, named Ichigo Kurosaki. That episode released on November 8, 2017 as the 14th episode of Season 4, making the gap of almost 2 years, 9 months between these two episodes. One Piece and Fairy Tail. One Piece is a famous, iconic part of the adventurous shonen manga released on Weekly Shonen Jump. Similar to Naruto, it is usually considered as a part of Shonen Holy Trinity. It features Straw Hat wearing pirate Monkey D. Luffy as a main character. On the other hand, Fairy Tail is another popular shonen manga that released on the different manga magazine, Weekly Shonen Magazine. It features fire-eating, breeding mate Natsu Dragni as a main character. Anyway, when both of these series appear on that better, it features Rora Zoro, Luffy's swordsman crewmate, and Ada Scarlet, Natsu Armormate's allies, as the first representative of both series. These two face each other on Zoro vs Erza, 13th episode of Season 3, which released on November 13, 2016. Sadly, Monkey D. Luffy did not appear on that better as of now. But fortunately for Natsu, he appeared on that better in Natsu vs Ace, 5th episode of Season 4 that released on May 3, 2017. The gap between these two episodes is around 5 months, 3 days. The funny thing is that in this episode, Natsu fight Portugal D. Ace, the Fire Fist pilot for One Piece who happened to be Luffy's brother. I wonder how Luffy would feel if he found out what happened to Ace in that episode. Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho is a popular occult-like shonen manga released on Weekly Shonen Jump during 90s. It features hard-fighting spirit detective Yusuke Uramashi as a main character. However, when Yu Yu Hakusho appeared on that better, it features Hihei, the lone demon and rival allies of Yusuke as a third representative of this manga series. Hiei appeared on Sasuke vs. Hiei, 12 episodes of season 6, where he faced Sasuke Uchiha, the main friend rival of Naruto Uzumaki from manga Naruto. This episode released on September 25, 2019. At season 6, episode 12, Yusuke himself later appeared on that battle in the episode of Ichigo vs. Yusuke, premiere episode of 2026 year, then released on February 8, 2026, where he faced Ichigo Kurosaki from manga Bleach, the one who faced Naruto like I mentioned before. This episode was released on February 8, 2026, making the gap between two episodes around 6 years, 4 months, 14 days, making the biggest gap between the two episodes, where the first episode featured the non-main character and later episode featured the main character of the manga series. My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia is a popular superhero Shōnen manga released a weekly Shōnen Jump during 2010. It features hero aspiring green student named Ichigo Midoriya. He is also known as Deku, which is his hero name. That said, in that battle, it features All Might as a third representative of the series, who is the top #1 hero in the world of My Hero Academia and the mentor of Ichigo/Deku. He appeared on All Might vs. Might Guy, 16th/final episode of season 6, where he faced Might Guy, the story with Linda from Naruto, who acts as a trusted mentor to Rock Lee and rival/friend to Kakashi. Anyway, this episode was released on December 18, 2019. 16 episodes/final episodes of season 6. Ichigo/Deku himself appeared on that later on the episode of Deku vs. Asta, which is the 15th episode of season 9. He faced Asta, the Magic Knight main character from the manga Blood Clover. Deku vs. Asta released on November 28, 2022, making the gap between these two episodes around 2 years, 11 months, 10 days. Akame ga Kill. Akame ga Kill is a brutal and dark Shōnen manga released on monthly Gagan Joker. I was surprised to find out that this manga classified as a Shōnen, considering its aggressive and violent nature of the series. Anyway, the main character of the manga is Akame, the sword-wielding assassin of the series. Or you could argue that Tatsumi is the main character of the show, as he acts as an audience surrogate, plus the fourth character of the narrative. I will stick with Akame as the main character for simplicity's sake. That said, that bear used Estet, the eye-using primary villain of the manga, as a third representative of the series in the show. She appeared on Grave vs. Estet, 5th episode of season 7, where she faced Graveyard Buster, the Ice Maze from Fairy Tail. This episode was released on March 23, 2020. Akame herself did not appear on the show yet as of writing of this video. And if you ask about Tatsumi, no, he did not appear on the show yet either. Soul Eater. Soul Eater fantasy Shōnen manga released on monthly Shōnen Gangan. It featured Maka Alban, master who used her friend partner, Soul Evan, to fight supernatural foes. Soul transformed into Sight, so Maka used Sight to fight her enemy, but let me get back to topic. In that battle, however, it featured Corona, a Maka as a third character from Soul Eater to appear in the show. They faced Venom, our superior/anti-villain who we usually associate with Spider-Man, in the episode of Venom vs. Corona, which is the 15th episode of season 7 and released on October 5, 2020. Maka herself, obviously along with Soul, appeared on that battle on Yubi Rose vs. Maka Alban, where she faced Yubi Rose, Grim Hunting Huntress from anime series Ruby. Ruby Rose vs. Maka Alban is the 9th episode of 2025 year that was released on September 21, 2025, making the gap between two episodes around 4 years, 11 months, 16 days. That said, Yubi Rose vs. Maka Alban is a special episode that battle as it acts at the 200th episode of the show, so it is something special. Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is a dark fantasy Shōnen manga released by Battle Shōnen magazine. It features a Neger, Titan slaying scout as a main character. However, that bear chose Mikasa Aquaman, childhood and close friend of Eren, as the first character to appear on the Dead Bear from the series. She appeared on Break vs. Mikasa, 5th episode of the season 8, where she faced Black Belladonna, another huntress from Ruby. Break vs. Mikasa released on May 3, 2021. As a while in this script, and Lego himself still did not appear on that battle yet. Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter is a well-regarded manga coming from Weekly Shōnen Jump. It acts as a contemporary manga compared to the horror shonen trinity, including the likes of One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach. Hunter x Hunter features Gon Freak, the Green Hunter kid with a lot of potential as a main character. Of course, you could argue that Hunter x Hunter has numerous main characters based on the narrative of the series, but Gon tends to act as the main mascot character of the show in the public eye. Anyway, Hunter x Hunter finally appeared on that battle by featuring Kira Jordik, one of the major character and the best friend of Gon in the episode of Kiryu Misaka. Kiryu vs Misaka is the third episode of season 10, featuring Kiryu facing Misaka by Mikito as per protagonist from a certain scientific Dagon. This episode was released on June 19, 2023. Sadly, Gon himself still did not appear on the show as of writing this script. Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man. Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man are supernatural dark fantasy manga coming from Weekly Shōnen Jump. Both of them are usually regarded as a new gen manga as they become popular around 2020. Jujutsu Kaisen features Yuji Itadori, Gift the Sorcerer, as a main character, while Chainsaw Man features Denji, Chainsaw Man hybrid demon hunter, as a main character. However, that bird did not pick Yuji and Denji as the first character from its respective series to appear on the show. Instead, it picked Yuji mentor and honored one, Satoru Gojo, and Denji bosses and cross, Makima, as the first character to appear in the show from Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man. They both appear in Gojo vs Makima, 12 episodes of season 10, where they face each other. It was released on October 23, 2023. Both Yuji and Denji later appear on Yuji vs Denji, 5th episode of year 2026, where they fight each other. That episode was released on May 31, 2026, making the gap between the two episodes at least 2 years, 7 months, 8 days. That said, I found it funny that Yuji and Denji ended up fighting each other similar to how their mentors fought each other in the show. I know Yuji vs Denji was a popular idea within the community, but I cannot help but to point out the similar matchup vibe between Gojo vs Makima and Yuji vs Denji. In the end, making this video led me to remind myself that there are still a lot of famous manga characters from shonen manga that still have not made it to that better. For example, as I was writing the script, I realized that Monkey D. Luffy, Enegger, and Gon Freak are still not in the show yet. I hope the show eventually uses character in the show, but at the same time, it helped me to remember that battle still had ton of unused character, meaning the show had ton of fresh material that they can go over in future. Meaning that they will never run out of material, so theoretically, they will never run out of ideas to use in the show. I hope this load of ideas would help that battle for long as possible, and I will probably watch that battle as they continue to do so. Anyway, it's time for me to end this video. Thanks for watching.